Let's get this party started.
A handshake is available upon request.
Thank you. May I have a handshake? Every time you find yourself here, it's because you chose to come back.
Innies, outies, shake it all abouties, welcome back to the weekly waffle party that is Severance with the Boys. I'm Luke F. I'm joined by my usual co-worker Jonathan D. Say hi, John.
Hi, John.
It's been a busy week here at the auditory department on the 7th floor of Lumon. We're recording a day later due to our annual winter staff party at Pips last night. It was a wild one. Melon shots were had, Mr. Drummond bench pressed John, and there were goats. So many goats. John, how you doing? How's your week been?
Yeah, not too bad. Busy week. Nothing too crazy to write home about. Just a normal week in the Lumen office. Yourself, how's your week been? It's just one of those weeks. Just, you work and you do things outside of work.
It's like you come and go, never sleep.
Yeah, pretty much.
My week was fine. No visits to the break room this week, so yeah, it's been lovely. We are expecting a new employee today from one of the UK branches. Actually, do you hear the elevator? I think it might be him.
Oh,
she's alive!
It's Joe.
Oh, hey guys. Oh, what's it been? 2 seconds?
No, you're a transfer from the UK branch. So we've never seen you before.
Oh no! Wow. Hello, strange people I've never met.
Welcome to Joe B from the UK branch of Lumen. Joe, how have you been? How's your viewing of Severance Season 2 been so far?
Probably I'd say a lot better than the first series, seeing as the first series I watched just as my son had been born and we were in a lockdown. So that was
fair.
That was something. But yeah, the second series I'm just loving so far, and I think it's definitely because I've rewatched the first series in such sort of quick succession before. I'm just straight back in.
Okay, so here's our quick recap of the episode. Cobell is parked up on a bloody freezing road straight out of Fargo. Where is she going? She's going to Salt's Neck. What is that? Who knows? Meanwhile, Mark is timing his commute from the parking lot to the elevator at Lumen. More questions. The Innies are getting brave, printing missing posters of Miss Casey and planning to hand them out to different departments. Dylan is suspiciously quiet for a loud, big fun guy. Irv shows off his hall pass and he goes to O&D on a Burt nostalgia trip. What in the mildly racist hell are they doing to my guy Milchek? He doesn't look convinced by his new paintings. Is there a Milchek rebellion arc coming? Side note, Natalie's face is the creepiest thing about this entire show. Later on, Mark and Haley happen upon a literal goat farm. And look, it's Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones and she has 20 or so friends that look suspiciously like the others from Lost. The goat people confirm they know Miss Casey and will let Mark and Haley go as long as they show their bellies. Seems like a fair deal. Natalie is stroking Rickon's ego while Devon and Mark do some arts and crafts in Mark's basement. Mysterious outie Helena chats with Cobell, and does Cobell have a deal for her? She wants MDR back, but she wants Milchik fired. No chance, Harmony. Kick rocks, Cobell. Helena and Cobell agree to talk to the mysterious board, but Cobell smells a rat and legs it. Not this time, evil Helena. Meanwhile, Mark is trying to permanently damage his eyes in order to send a message to his innie. Later, he is surprised by Baseball Bat Bandit from Season 1, Regabi. Mark gets confirmation Gemma is alive and he is now ready to burn the world. In the words of Kev, our guest from last week, why has nobody called the police yet? It's reintegration time, baby, and Mark doesn't care how it's done. He wants to see his dead wife come hell or high water, and a little bit of reintegration sickness ain't gonna stop him. Let's start with our guest. Joe, what did you think of this week's episode?
I loved this episode. I think the first two episodes I was a little bit like, we watched the first one and I had a feeling it was going to be, same narrative, innies and outies. And I agree with your guest last week. It was a little bit on the slow side, but this episode, I just felt like I was just locked in the entire time. Loved it.
And John, yourself, what do you think?
Again, opposites, but I thought this week was a little bit slower. I think they still didn't answer many things. I know it's still early in the season, I expect, and obviously it'll be more revealed as it goes on, but I thought this episode was still a little bit slower.
Okay.
What about yourself?
I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first two, but I think there's a reason for that, and it's because it was so dense. There was so much information and so much going on. and I was trying to take notes at the same time, and I didn't watch it twice like I usually do. I just watched it the one time through. But I enjoyed it. It's a good story progression episode. To go back to Kev from last week, they just kind of added more questions.
Yeah.
And I'm going to need some answers soon. I think they're going to have to start answering things pretty soon.
Yeah, I've got a lot of questions.
I'm with you on that. For me, I wanted at least an answer to something this episode to like make me keep going, but I don't feel they answered anything for me. Like Cobell came back, she spoke with her, and she's like, "I want MDR," and she's like, "Fine, let's go have some words," and then she's like, "Actually, eat shit." so like, let's just delve straight into one of my favorite and weirdest scenes that I'm sure it's all the same for both of you. Milchek receiving his artwork.
Oh, that wasn't the scene I thought you were going to say, but yeah, let's talk about that scene. It was really uncomfortable to watch, and it made me, I have this in my notes, it made me feel really bad for Milchek for like one of the first times. And he's becoming more likable, he's becoming more human as the series goes on, and that just really was awful to watch.
I don't know if it's a really basic comparison, but did you guys get like Get Out vibes when Natalie was like smiling at him?
100%.
Is that very like just the knowing smile?
Yeah.
It was like the scene with the maid where it was like no.
100%. That quivering smile she does, just to like
She's got such help me face.
Her gaze when she walks around his back and the camera just follows her, and she's just the smile as she walks around is fucking terrifying.
Oh.
It's touching upon race within Lumon, which they haven't done before, which is great and also terrifying because seeing Kier as a god, as they paint him as a general and stuff in Civil War times and all this kind of stuff, and then they paint him as a black man in all of these paintings, which is to help Milchek see himself in Kier, which is not cool.
It's wildly manipulative.
It's 100%. I felt super uncomfortable, and you can see like Natalie smile because she's like, "Oh, the board wishes all this," like keeping you like locked in, saying, "Whatever you fucking say right now, the board can hear, so you fucking play along."
Yeah, and didn't she say she had the same thing?
Yeah, the board would like to know that Natalie received the exact same thing, and she's like, just smile and fucking nod. It's terrifying. I hated it.
I think it's good to see that he put it up like on the highest shelf, tucked away. It's definitely sort of foreshadowing sort of where we're going. He definitely didn't hang them proudly in his new office.
Yeah. Joe, do you have anything else on that scene?
I just think looking at the board, like this crackly noise on a speaker, more and more of sort of this faceless board, I'm starting to get these vibes like, are they real? Are they like AI? Are they maybe, I'm getting that. I think it's because I just watched Skeleton Crew and it was obviously the droid overlord in that. I was like, oh, maybe. I don't know. Something.
I got on my notes the board question mark because I was going to see your guys' opinions on who and or what the board is.
Maybe it's Kier himself.
We've only ever heard them speak once when they said yes to Cobell, I think, maybe. But obviously it's always Natalie that can hear them. Is it some kind of weird consciousness? Because still with all the theories and everything that they're trying to bring back Kier or any of like the kind of consciousness, is it like all the fucking dead Kier's consciousness in one little box telling you weird shit? So I don't think it's a group of people. I think it's some kind of consciousness of many weird bastards.
I think Miss Cobell was definitely not keen to visit the board. I think she was so not keen, she literally jumped in her car and we had another Miss Cobell screaming and driving away. So I thought it was going to be literally the same ending again.
She was backing out of there like she thought they were going to kill her.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the goat scene, because that was my favorite scene. Not from like this is such an important scene. It was just really funny and I love the characters. And John, your take on that scene, please.
I loved the initial entrance into the goats, crawling through the miniature hallway, which was super cool because it just looked exactly the same, but like as if it was fucking closing in on them.
I have a theory on that as well. We'll talk about it later. It's a good one. I thought about this myself. I didn't research this theory. It's my theory. I haven't put it on the internet yet. We'll talk about it later.
You put things on the internet?
Sometimes on Reddit.
Oh, you big neckbeard. So yeah, I love their entry coming in through the small hallway and Helena laughing at the situation she's in because she's an Egan and she's currently crawling through poop. And then into the rolling hill landscape of weird goat devil people looking at them, and Gwendolyn Christie just being a bit of a nutter, asking if they're here to kill her. Yeah, it was enjoyable scene, very weird. Got more questions than answers yet again.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe? How did you find the scene?
I noticed in the background at the vending machines. It's like, come on, guys,
Yeah.
we're New Lumen. You got vending machines. Even the goats have got vending machines. and the guy. As soon as that guy popped up, like the guy, my wife's not normally around when I'm watching it, and she was still there, and she was there for this goat scene. And this guy just pops up, and then she went to bed.
I love that scene. Did it not remind you of the others, John? When she rang the bell and they all kind of started walking towards the camera?
It does now, yeah.
Are you a Lost fan, Joe?
Oh, I don't want to burn myself too soon, guys, but yes, I am 100% Lost is a perfect show. No, I won't take it from no one.
Yep, you're in good company here. Don't worry. I love the bellies scene as well. Little reference to season 1.
Yes.
That MDR have pouches on their bellies to carry their young.
Oh, I completely forgot about that. I was wondering where it was in reference to. Nice.
Yeah, that's why they have them show their bellies. So it just goes to show how big and vast it is down there that these departments have been cut off from each other and have all these weird theories about each other. It's pretty funny. I really hope Gwendolyn Christie is a returning character.
Oh yeah, she's brilliant in everything. I'm if there's ever a rebellion, I'd like to see her turn up at the last minute with her goat people.
It certainly seems like it's kind of leading that way. Like more and more people are becoming wise down there, and there's going to be some kind of rebellion. Do you think the goat people, as I'm going to call them, are permanent innies? Because there's no way those people are coming to work looking like that every day. They have to be, right? They have to be down there permanently.
They've got to be. They've got to be.
I mean, they are an odd sort, aren't they?
Let's talk about the Dylan scene with his outie visitor center. I guess, John, you'd look like you got notes on that.
I was just going to say it's nice that you were wrong.
I guess for the listeners, let's just explain that my theory was that when Dylan went to the visitor center, he was going to turn up and there was going to be an actor playing his wife, and then we would see his wife on the outside and it was going to be a completely different person. Seems like a very Lumen thing to do, but that wasn't the case.
Kev touched upon it. He thought, and I agree. He thought it would have been just too straightforward, too boring if they did that. It kind of reads into it, and I'm very glad that they didn't. The story that's now set up instead is way more interesting than just a fake actor. The fact that, from what I think, and presumably yourselves, that they're making it lead up to his wife is now a bigger fan of any Dylan than Outie. I think it's a much better story. I think that's way cooler.
Is she going to start having an affair with any Dylan?
That's how I see it kind of going forward, because that makes more sense, because Outie Dylan's just a bit of an asshole.
Do you guys think he made the cookies after she went to work?
No, not at all.
No. It was such a low work job as well. It was like, all you have to do is cut them and put them in the oven.
Never happened.
She kissed any Dylan and said that she loved him. Didn't do a single thing to Outie Dylan.
Oh, that's true. Didn't realize that. What do you think she does for a job, by the way? She's leaving in the middle of the night.
It was like a weird kind of security guard kind of logo-y type thing. That was a guess for myself. Kind of like, I had a badge on the arm and it was like a shirt and type of thing. So
is she Lumen security?
Oh. Now we're cooking with gas.
Joe, any scenes that stand out to you?
I've got some stuff on Heliar, because I think you guys are way off on your that she's a outie on the 7th floor. I'm gonna go totally the other way. So
honestly, after this week's episode, I'm a little bit more with you there. Let's discuss that. What do you think is going on with Heliar?
Well, I think for me, when we spoke about the first episode, and you guys mentioned about, she was an outie, and I was like, hang on, no, I didn't get that at all. And I listened, and every podcast I listened to, people were saying, she's an outie, she was weird when they hugged, and, there was all this suspicious stuff. But then I was thinking, for me, I was like, I thought I was just being naive. I was thinking maybe she's just, oh my God, I'm an Egan. And now it's making her feel like really like self-conscious, like, I don't want these guys to know that I'm an Egan. It might jeopardize how they feel about me. So she's feeling quite like anxious about it, tense. But so I was kind of watching it on that lens, and then this episode, I'm like, I don't know actually, like, because there was a lot of little like jokey smiles, and I know they've sort of shown her sort of like watching the footage of Mark, so maybe, you know, she does have a bit of a thing there, but also have they taken the thing out of her head? How is she back in there as an outie? That's my. So I'm going full out on the other end. My big theory is that she is actually still an innie, and it's a misdirect.
I like it. I think I'm a little more with you on after this episode. Yeah, John, are you still full?
I'm still Hallie is an outie. Like the awkward near kiss scene again that they had. I think that was still awkward as shit. And this is another theory that I'm working on. Hallie's arc as well is that she's gonna do a whole switcheroo. In the season trailer, you see outside Helena with outside Mark S, and there's I think there's a sex scene that they snip in, and there's a scene where they're in a bar as well. So
A sex scene in this economy?
indeed, might get to see some butts.
John, I think you're actually onto something there. I think there is going to be a big switcheroo. I think she's going to want to get that chip taken out. I think it is Innie Helly down there right now, but I think she's going to see all that footage and be like, "Oh, I want that," and then get it taken out so she can go down there.
Yeah, is she playing the long con? But I think because her life doesn't seem that fun. Her dad's a fetid moppet, and so on and so on. Like every part of her outside life just seems stressful and shit. Whereas the glimpse she had of the inside, she seemed happy, she seemed in love. So I think she wants that, and I think maybe the old switcheroo, and then she's going to bone Mark, and then that's going to be awkward because he's looking for his wife.
So Irv gets his hall pass and decides to go to O&D. John, what have you got on that?
That scene of where he's showing Miss Juan, showing her his hall pass is just pure comedy for me. I started laughing. So he's like, "Oh, the hall pass." I was gone, and I was like, perfect. Thank you for that. But yeah, him going to see Felicia was super nice scene for them both to reminisce on Bert. You can see a couple of the paintings that they both seen before, like the Kia and his wife in the ether factory in season 1, where they held hands ever so slightly. So it was nice for him to reminisce on that. And then it shows that Innie Irv and Outie Irv are still kind of communicating-ish to each other, but
in cahoots,
especially because we know that they're both artists, and he's drawing Bert on the inside, and then he's got the image of the elevator, to which Felicia then explains that it's the export elevator, I believe, doesn't she?
Yep. All right, let's talk about this final scene. So we got Rigabi returning from season 1, who is just overly aggressive. Did you guys think?
Just standing outside the car, it's like,
"Let me in." He's like, "No."
Yeah, she was pretty angry. So when I saw Mark doing his little light box idea, I clocked straight away what it was. I was like, that's genius. I was like, how long does that last? I had to think about it, but it's good. Turns out his theory about burning a message into his retinas wouldn't work because the pupils redilated or something, and it wipes it, I guess.
I love that she mugged him off straight away. It was like, "Did you Google it?"
Yeah.
Like, shit.
This scene was really trippy. I enjoyed it. People are saying this is why it took them 3 years to make a season 2 because of scenes like this. What do you think of this scene, Joe?
it's making me anxious. I mean, it didn't go well for PT. I think it's
No.
I can't imagine it's come on that much in a short space of time.
John, what are your thoughts on this weird scene?
Yeah, I agree with you. She was super aggressive with it, unnecessarily, I guess, as well. It was great to see Mark lose his shit again as soon as he finds out that Gemma was last seen alive. So that was nice that he actually has confirmation now, and he is going to commit to burning the place down.
And it was no hesitation as well. It was just like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Tear this thing out my brain.
But then the whole reintegration scene was cool, because where she's asking him the questions, and then you can see the split between where Innie Mark is finally coming out. He's like, I don't know what my birthday is. I don't know the color of my mother's eyes.
I don't know. Doing brain surgery in a dank basement is a choice, but not sure I would have jumped in like Mark did. But it was nice to see him finally get that confirmation that Gemma is possibly still kicking alive somewhere. Let's talk about new theories. So I read something online.
Love it already.
Yeah, this is a theory, but it's a little one, but there is proof for it in several scenes. Someone said they predict that Irv is going to get either his throat cut or his head cut off by the end of the series.
Oh no!
The reason for this is because in the trailer, we haven't seen the episode yet. There is a melon head of his head on the desk. There's a scene in episode 1 where Milchick's riding his bike, and there's a crossfade where Irv sat staring like this, and the crossfade of Milchick riding his bike is like right across his neck. There's just these weird symbolic things that suggest that it's this kind of foreshadowing it is going to happen.
I don't want it.
I haven't fully bought into it yet, but now I have it in my head. I can't stop thinking about it.
I hate that.
Is John Turturro got too expensive?
Yeah.
We can't keep you for a third series.
So that's an interesting one for me. I think that is something that's being foreshadowed, and his death is imminent in this end of this season. Do you guys have any new theories that we haven't discussed yet already?
I don't think I've got anything else currently.
Then I'll tell you my next one. Have you guys seen the trailer for the season?
I actually haven't.
So there's this one shot, which, John, I'm sure you're familiar with, where they're all in the snow with winter coats, fur winter coats, on a cliffside staring out. I have two separate things to talk about on this. Firstly, I think where they are there is within Lumon, and I think it's possibly Cold Harbor. That's where I think they are. I think it's an actual place, whether it's like, what do you call it, VR or whatever, and they're on like a lower floor. I think it is Cold Harbor where they are. That's my theory about that.
That is interesting.
John looks like he doesn't like that theory at all.
Your theory is dumb, and so are you. No, interesting. I don't see it myself. I don't see how they can build a snow cliff inside of Lumon, but weirder things have happened at sea, I guess.
Yeah, that's just my thoughts. Anyway,
I did see them all running across the snow, and I was thinking, how are we going to get to that? Like, unless they do the overtime contingency again, and and they're all out. Who knows? I'm just here for the ride. I'll see you at the end, guys.
my other note on that as well, it's more of a note than a theory. Did you notice the little hallway with the goats is very Alice in Wonderland? That's immediately what I thought of. Okay. And then secondly, the jacket scene in the snow that we haven't seen yet in the trailer is very Chronicles of Narnia, Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe.
There's the goat, so there's Mr. Tumnus. There's going to be some...
There's like things tying into novels.
Were you watching the Chronicles of Narnia and you skipped out on this episode? Is that what you're saying?
Hey, you'll laugh now, but these are going to prove right. I guarantee it.
Yeah, thank you, Joe, for coming down to our level. Thank you for showing us your belly to make sure you didn't have a pouch. How did you find today? How are you looking forward to the rest of the season? Any big thoughts?
I mean,
not big thoughts.
You guys have opened my brain wide. I'm going to be looking for these book references now. No, it's good coming down to your level, guys. But I'm now gonna. It's been fun, but I've got to go.
Time to go. Responsibilities.
Time to leave, yeah. Thank you all for listening again. Catch us on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Blue Sky, other socials. Luke will tell you and post it. Thank you. I love you. Have a wonderful week. You're the best. Just stay true to yourself. Goodbye. And until next time, praise gear.